for them, the more information, because people want to help. They want to be part of the cure, right? So the more info you get, that's why I want to go where the info is, okay? We're chasing now with the Dog the Bounty Hunter and the Essentials, a new show. Only people that kill women, sexually assault little kids, hurt women and children, they are done. That's who we're going after now, okay? Steal cars in front of me, I don't care, but don't you better not touch a baby. So we're going after those with the most incredible team. A couple of my kids, but the Essentials are all retired in their 50s and 40s or hurt, hit by a car. Law enforcement from FBI, CIA, drug enforcement task forces. I got all these guys that all of a sudden, due to Gabby, they volunteered to come down there and help me. Me and Francie are like, oh dear Lord, where did these guys come from? Because David, they're already trained. They know what they're doing. They're cops and they got real guns. So it's, the world, and with Francie's husband's been in heaven 4 years. Beth's been there 3. We're back. We had time, with them, Dave, when they're sick, you got to be there. You can't work, brother. You can't do a normal day stuff. And we got married September 2nd. And, I'm back. I feel back now. I feel Beth would be very proud. So would Bob and Francie. I feel that we're doing what we can of the Lord's work. David, Francie's such a good little Christian. Bro, she's a rancher. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Imagine me doing the Masked Singer. What about me marrying a rancher? Oh my God, right? So we're just fighting the good fight. We're very lucky. God is blessing us. And hallelujah.
Was Francie a huge proponent of like going to the Masked Singer? Was she all about you doing the show?
Oh yes. Because she tried to trick me. Because when I first started singing to her, she's like, I go, really, Francie, how'd it sing? How'd it sound? Honey, let me tell you, a voice is a muscle. And the more you sing, the better it sounds. And I'm like, oh, really? So I'm, 2 weeks you get to prepare. So I must have sung those songs 100 times. What she really said is, you need a lot of practice. So, and being there, she's all masked up too. She don't know nothing, but she can see me. And in the background with the music is so loud, it's like at a concert, you can't see that smoke or fire, right? And I hear her, go, baby, go. And you just get that intestinal fortitude, it's called in a nice way. And you take a deep breath of faith, and you go. Oh, David, she encouraged me so much. She was just, it's incredible.
That's great. Is it good to be back? And is it hard, look, right, you took a quote unquote hiatus from the public eye. Like you said, you got to be there when people are sick and it's, we all need times out in life. But was it hard to sit by and watch, look, the media has a lot to say, were you kind of listen, I'm Dog the Bounty Hunter, don't count me out just yet?
Yes, very hard. And people talk more when you're quiet. Oh, right. This, do that. And thank you, Jesus. I have one of the greatest lawyers in LA, Marty Singer. Of course, we all know Marty. And he's like, don't say a word. Stop it. Oh, well, because don't you talk about me, but I'll bust you up. That's your attitude. No, stop it. You say one word as they want to be noticed, right? Dog, it's me. Please love me. And they say something bad and you say something bad. Guess what? They get noticed. You don't win. They win because they got what they wanted. Notice. So let me tell you this real quick story. One time, years and years ago, Twitter first came out. And this little girl wrote me a note on Twitter. She said, Dog, would you please pray for my kitty? He got hit by a car. So I kept scrolling. And this one guy said, your hair is this and that. You ever shampoo it? Listen, punk, I shampoo my hair twice a day. And quit talking about my hair. 3 or 4 days went by. The little girl called me and said, Dog, my kitty died. And I wish you would have called me, but if I'd have talked about your hair, dog, you'd have called me. Immediately called the Dumb Friends League, had a kitty delivered to her house, and I'll never forget that. So I'm just going for the good. The rest get blocked and deleted.
Listen,
Right?
when you answer, it never ends up well. It's like you say, you're giving notoriety, and that's what they want, and it will go on for
Yeah.
years. You will never get the last word in.
Yes.
Do you get starstruck? I mean, like you said, like you've had your own show, you've had spin-offs upon spin-offs. I mean, here you are on The Masked Singer. Like, listen, if you're going to get eliminated, getting eliminated with Jennifer Holliday, I mean, Dreamgirls, like that's the real deal. I mean, she's a singer. That's not such a bad company. But do you ever get starstruck?
Well, yes. And what that means is like you're kind of Denzel Washington, done. When I met him, oh, well, bro, and I hugged him and yeah, I do, you know. Hawaii Five-O, some of those guys there. Peter Lankoff, you know, he's the biggest producer in America. You do, it's automatic, you know. And when people do it me, I go, oh, stop it. You still haven't met a star yet. I'm still working to get there. It's okay. You know, so yeah, I absolutely do. Yes.
What about the opposite? Has someone ever come up to you and just been like, knows every episode of every show, and you're like, you are the last person I thought was the demographic to watch these shows?
When I lived in Hawaii, we were one of the most ever called for Make-A-Wish children. Okay. And I did that for many years. So one of my little girls who's still alive, when I met her, she didn't have any kidneys. They couldn't do another transplant. So they did transfusions every 2 days, right? Now today, she's got a kidney. Out of the clear blue, she tried it. Her name is Robin. It worked. She's still alive. She's in her 20s. And she is one of the sweetest girls you've ever met. And I forgot when I was thinking about Robin, what was you saying?
About like if someone comes up to you and they're just like, you're shocked that they're a fan of the show.
Yeah, sorry. She sat there 4 or 5 hours, David, getting transfusion. She knew every single word of every single show. She went, you know, in episode 6, Doug, that's when you caught the guy at McDonald's. And when you said blah, 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 and Leland said it, and then you said, go get him, Leland. And then Leland got the guy and they got him by the shoestring. Robin. But Robin is the best at that. But a lot of times people come up and because we filmed from 04 till 19, right? 3 networks, different shows.
Yeah.
And they go, do you remember that guy at Starbucks? And you're like, no, what was he like? Well, he had really long hair. You're like, okay. But yeah, then you have to go back in your mind and, you know, sometimes if you don't want to say, oh, I don't remember that. I go, I kind of do in a way, right? So yeah, it's her. I'm your #1 fan, dog. I love that. Okay,
wow.
Great.
What have you learned about yourself? Like, have you learned anything about yourself from this experience with The Masked Singer?
Well, let me tell you this, all right? So this is terrible. Oh God, I'm gonna get in trouble. My Jennifer, my PR girl's gonna kill me. One of my best friends I went to school with, in 3rd grade with, they went to him last year at the newspapers. They said, you've known Dog the longest. Since he's gotten famous, has he changed? And Red said, he's been famous in his own mind since we were 8 years old. So David, really deep down inside, I knew I could do The Masked Singer. David, I knew I had to do The Masked Singer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to do it. So when it comes to having to do it, call me. I'll do it.
What advice would you give? Listen, you have a whole family that's on TV with you. Like, you know, say one of your sons or Francie, like what advice would you give to them if, you know, maybe The Masked Singer came knocking on their door in the future?
Well, I'd say #1, do it. and sing your heart out and practice, which I didn't do, right? Because again, I didn't know you had to really go out there and jam. And that get ready for one of the greatest rides of your life. And it's a show, David, that everybody, the kids can watch it too. You know, my little grandkids and my older grandkids, I mean, juveniles, 8, 9, 7, 6, they can watch it and be happy and they're cheering on. You don't get that a lot in any network and any television in America right now, unless you're watching, a Sesame Street oriented show, right?
True.
So Matt covers as you and I know, the word demographic, it covers all the demographic, which is, I think that's why it's a really large success.
I think so too. As we wrap up, 2 final questions. Now, listen, there's no shade in this question. I have lots of stepmothers and stepfathers. There's lots of divorce in my family, but we love Francie like dog. Listen, you've been married almost as much as each of my parents. Is it? Are we done? Is Francie the one?
Well, David in the Bible, King David was married 8 times. So I'm way behind him. This is it.
This is it.
We both said this is it last time, and our spouses are in heaven. So I told her, stay with me, Francie, and I'm going to stay with her. Yes, and I saved, and I don't mean to ever disrespect Beth, but I know I saved the best for last, because that's how it is. And I do believe supernaturally that Beth had something to do with Francie, because Beth and I had meetings at last that I'll never tell anybody. And I know what Beth told me. So I'm sure that she would, I think if I didn't have Francie, I would have let Beth down.
That's a good point. And I was just going to say, since she's commenting from off, in the background, the boss has spoken. The boss has spoken.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, listen, it has been a pleasure watching you on The Masked Singer. I have thoroughly enjoyed your journey. I wish nothing but great things to you, to Francie, to the whole family. Where can everyone find you online that's not currently following you?
Well, the bet, I have all Instagram, all that, but the best thing, dogthebountyhunter.com. Francie just relaunched that. I told you we had a lot of merch, right? And again, so she's launching merch, and I think the best way to get a hold of us is there. I used to give out my email, but then, hackers from Russia, but dogthebountyhunter.com is the best, brother.
I love it. I will share it with everyone.
David, stay in touch with me. You're very polite. I feel your spirit. You're a very good guy.
Please, you too.
Is meeting good guys or girls and then keeping in touch. I mean that, okay? Once in a while, drop us a line. What's up? And I know more because, I know a lot about crime and comments, and I can hang with you. Thank you.
I was just going to say, listen, if there's someone I want on my side, you are not a bad person to be on my side. So
thank you.
I feel